Բերք ենք հավաքել, մշակում ենք, որ ուղարկենք։
Hello, fish.
Ես ապրում եմ հենց ջերմոցի հետևի տանը, մյուս աշխատողը մի երկու տուն ենքում։
If you like arugula, and it's 100% clean. Yep. We're leaving Zovaber, and we are the next village up here. You'll see around the turn is Detmashen.
When was the first time you came to this village?
2012.
It was the school,
So,
the Detmashen school.
So when you guys are coming up, this is our turn right by the school.
Right before this.
Yeah. This lovely road could use some, what you call it, bushniks?
Buliznik.
Buliznik?
Buliznik is the tail, the stones,
Yeah.
you know, when they collect like a puzzle.
Ah, I see. So over there to the left, you can see Seda is the greenhouse, and it doesn't look inflated. We have to check the fans. No.
It's all right.
Our control center for all our functions. On the top we have an Asian Delight bok choy, and on this row we have a Li Ren bok choy. These are Asian cabbage used in Asian food. It's like one of the main ingredients in any Far East Asian cuisine. There's other people that are growing bok choy now. Ours is the only aquaponic bok choy in the marketplace. So we're experimenting here also with arugula. It's more of an American variety, but they use it also in Lebanon a lot. It's deeper taste, richer taste, it got a little more kick. It's got spice to it. Quite good, actually, if you like arugula. And it's 100% clean. Yep.
Wow.
We started last summer growing things, figuring things out, trying to figure out how things worked. And then winter slowed down. We learned a lot about things in the winter, about light and temperature and all that. And so now we've survived our first winter, and now this is ready to explode with the increase in light that's coming in every day, the increase in temperature. This stuff is going to start growing like crazy. So we want to produce, I don't know, 20 to 40 kilograms a week out of each bed of arugula. In the back here, it all starts here in these fish tanks. In a little while, we'll throw some food in. The fish swim and eat, and they have their waste product, both liquid and solid. That waste goes from the tank into this cone tank. It's called a clarifier, and we want the solid waste to settle into the bottom and settle there for a while. It gives the opportunity to collect it in one spot and to get some of the nutrient content out of it. Just grab a handful. We're gonna go stand up on this ledge over here, and we'll see if they come up for chow. It's just a fish food from locally sourced here in Armenia, balanced for carp. Let's go over here. I'll go up first. So this is the fish tank. We use an iron supplement. It turns our water red, so it's hard to see the fish, but maybe they'll come up. If they're hungry, they'll come up. There they go, you see them?
Is there a specific type of fish?
Yeah, this is a carp. See, there we go. Hello, fish.
How many?
There's, I think, 125 in this tank, 125 in the other tank. They provide all of the nutrient source for this entire greenhouse. and all they ask is that the water be a certain temperature and that we feed them occasionally. They're very generous, these fish. The waste goes into here, and what we're going to do, and I'll show you on this one, is that we will pump the waste, solid and liquid, into these what we call bioreactors. So inside the bioreactors, there's no soil in these. It's only rock, just normal rocks, right, that we throw in the system. Underneath all of this, we're pumping in oxygen, okay? And we do this in order to create an environment in which worms can live. The worms can live in water, and they eat the waste. These are California composting worms. They take the nutrient out of the waste stream, and they chelate these nutrients, which means they make them water soluble, and their waste product are water soluble nutrients. That's what these guys are pulling up into their root systems. And if you look very closely down there, we have the roots coming up, and they grow like crazy, and it's completely organic. This is the quick guide to our bioreactors. This is where all the magic happens, and the worms do all the work. So the liquid goes through here into these bioreactors. It drains out into this reservoir here. So this reservoir is filled with liquid nutrients. It's liquid fertilizer, okay? All courtesy of, you know, our fish and our worms who produce this. Then we pump this fertilizer into these, which we call NFTs. It says gutters with water. Right now the pump is not on, but if the pump was on, water comes out here, fills these tubes, and these tubes, then we place these plants. And in this section here is bok choy. This is how we do this. We take these little rock wool cubes, put a seed or two in there, into these little holes, and this is about 7 days growth. And we take this, pop it in this cup, right? And then we just set them in here. The roots will hang down in the water. They will pull the nutrient out of the water. They will grow. And by the time all the water gets to the end of the system, the nutrient level is depleted from them taking it out. We will collect that clean water and we pump it all the way back to the fish tanks. So the water we put in the system is recirculating. So it saves up, and I don't know the exact amount, it probably saves 90% of the water, usually 90% less than in soil farming. Most of the systems that have these in them, these elements in them, are called hydroponics. And that's hydroponics we use their equipment, but we don't use their chemical fertilizers. They have to add chemicals for fertilizer and nutrients. We use the fish, and they do it naturally. It's like a stream-side ecosystem that we've reproduced and put it on a little bit of natural steroids to get it to grow better and work better.
Ոնց է գյուղի հետ հարաբերությունները։
Շատ լավ, շատ լավ։
Այդ մաշինը ոնց է անցնել։
Շատ լավ։ Բոլորը արդեն մեզ գիտեն, որ մտնում ենք խանութ կամ ինչ-որ բան գնելու, հա դուք ջերմոցից եք, չէ՞, մարմարներից է։ Իրար գիտեն, փոքր գյուղ է, բոլորը իրար ճանաչում են։
Ես ապրում եմ հենց ջերմոցի հետևի տանը, մյուս աշխատողը մի 2 տուն ենկում, մոտ է, դրա համար մեզ հեշտ է, թե շատ հեռու տեղից գայինք, դժվար կլներ։
Anima Kirchan, who is the CEO of Aquaponics, and I worked together back in 2012 and 13 when we both were running environmental NGOs, our own. We worked together quite a bit back then. When I was in the US starting this company, I said, let's go ahead and build out in your village. And she was like, okay, let's do that. And that was always our plan, was to build in her village and then to build small systems in schools for use as STEM education tools in experiential education.
դպրոցականների համար, որ իրենք սովորեն ամեն ինչ իր մեջ ներգրավում է, ֆիզիկա, քիմիա, մաթեմատիկա, այսինքն հեղուկների բանը, հոսքերը, ամեն ինչ, այսինքն եթե կարողանանք դրանք ունենալ դպրոցներում, շատ պրակտիկ ձևով երեխաներին ու աշակերտներին հասանելի կլինի լիքը թեորիա։
Սկզբնականը մենակ այս խողովակներն էր սկզբնականը, ու այս ձկան բակերներ, մենք թեստ էինք անում, որ բույսը այդ ջրի մեջ աճելու ենթակա է։ Այդ ամենը մենք սենց իրանց հետ սկսել ենք, հենց սկզբնական արդեն մի տարի, մինչև հիմա էլ դրա մեջ ենք։ Աշխատում ենք, որ չթերանանք, այո։
Բակերում հողագործությամբ զբաղվել ենք, բույսերի հետ, հողի հետ գործ ունեցել ենք, բայց այս տեսակը նորություն էր մեր համար, այս ձևը։ Դե իրանք նենց էին սովորացնում, որ մենք հեշտ էինք ընկալում, շուտ վերցնում էինք, ինչ բացատրում էին, մի փորձ, երկու փորձ անում էինք ու մեր համար արդեն սովորական էր դառնում։
Օրգանական է, մենք ընդհանրապես քիմիա չունենք, այս մի տարի մենք չենք օգտագործել, ջերմոցում ամեն ինչը շատ լավ է, էլի։ Մարդիկ ավելի իրանց բիզնեսները քիմիայով օրեցօր աշխատացնում են, բայց մենք ասենք մենք բերքին սպասում ենք ամիս ու կես, բայց այդ քիմիայովը կարող է մի ամսում ինքը ավելի լավ եկամուտ ունենա, քան թե մենք այդքան երկար սպասելուց։ Բայց ավելի լավ է այս տարբերակը, քան այն։
When we first started training, I would start every session off with questions from yesterday. And the answers were quite simple because the process, once you get started, is quite simple. But they were afraid to answer because they thought their answers were too simple. And then I was like, no, the answers are the answers. And they started getting more and more confidence.
Ճիշտ է, լեզուն չենք հասկանում, բայց հեշտ է, հասկանում ենք իրար։ Սովորել ենք, հա, ոնց բացատրենք, որ ինքը մեզ հասկանա, մենք էլ իրան, շփվելու ձևը գտել ենք, էլի արդեն։
And as we keep going, they take on more and more responsibility. We add new things, valves, filter changing. They know a lot of this stuff better than I do. They'll walk in the morning, they'll go to that control panel, they'll go and they'll hit buttons, and I'm like, hold it, what did you do? Show me how you do that. So they're already way ahead of the game, and eventually they'll be running this whole system on their own.
Հուսամ երկրորդ ջերմոցը իրականանա, որովհետև կարելի ասել, այս ջերմոցը հասել է իր 80% արդեն ունենք պատրաստի համակարգը, իսկ երկրորդ ջերմոցում ուզում ենք մեր պարտանյութով արդեն ոչ թե ձկներով, այլ մեր ստացած հեղուկ օրգանական պարտանյութով։
Eline, Kirk, Armen.